is 9:09 on JL 95.7 with Connie and Curtis. 50 right now, but the feels like temperature is actually 50. I kind of can't wait to get outside today.
It's going to be so nice, right? Summer for one day and then winter for like a million days.
58 today, 55 tomorrow. Then we're in the 40s for a couple days, and then we're in the 30s.
I saw there tonight there's going to be 20-foot waves out in Lake Michigan.
What?
Which means like 10 to 15 footers at the shore. We always talk about driving over there, and we never
do it.
Today needs to be the day.
Is it still icy along the shore?
Zero ice. No, they've got no ice.
That was super pretty.
They're just shooting those giant waves. So it's today. It's because it's going to rain or something. So part of that is bringing the
scattered rain today and
waves.
Tomorrow.
So you should go to lunch in Grand Haven today.
Hi, Russ.
Russ, are you inviting us to lunch in Grand Haven?
I have a lunch meeting, but you guys should go.
Okay.
Is your lunch meeting in Grand Haven?
No, it is not.
Oh.
Could you reschedule?
No, it's confirmed. I'm going to be up in your neck of the woods on the north side of town.
Okay.
Curtis.
I mean, if you got to go north, then go north, I say. We'd rather go toward the beach. Whatever. And there are beaches up north.
Can I just tell you, there's somebody else in the studio with us right now. Speaking of beaches.
Which you need to have a talk with Steve, because Steve has been peppering him trying to get your address, because he knows where you live.
I'm not hiding where I live from Steve.
Oh, okay.
Steve knows where I live, too. He's just never been over.
Okay, because Steve was definitely asking for the address. And when he wanted to invite you to his wedding, I said, just send it here. And
Todd.
worked.
Hi.
What is your last name?
Beach.
That is the best last name ever.
Who do you like that?
Todd Beach. Todd, who do you work for?
I work for Modernistic.
Simple and quick.
So about, a month ago, you were talking about the perfect thing would be to, clean out your vents in your house. Because you got dirty vents.
I was being kind of whiny a little bit on the air.
You were
which
venting.
never happens.
No.
And Russ happened to be listening. And, I've never had my vents cleaned before because every place that I've ever bought was new construction, and I didn't think you had to have it done with new construction. Turns out you do. That's one thing.
You get all that.
And the
wood dust
other
out.
thing is, I never lived there long enough to get to the 3 to 5 years that you should have it done because I work in radio, Todd.
We move around,
We're
Todd.
moving around all over the place, so I've never had it done before.
So are you holding there the report on how dirty Connie's vents were?
So you guys at Modernistic,
No,
you came
I am
over.
not.
Russ was like,
We would
3
never share that
pages
information
long.
on air.
Russ was like,
Certain privacy.
Is it like
what, Connie? Put your money where your mouth is. Why don't we just have Modernistic come to your house and do it? And I was like, okay. So you guys did it last week. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
Thank you.
exciting.
All right, so-
and so I found out, remember I said, so my house is 31 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that I'm just going to go based on the assumption that they've never been cleaned. Because you don't know.
Right.
Right.
I have no idea. And I know they had a dog.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So the guys that you sent out to my house for Modernistic, they said it had been cleaned. They said if it had not been cleaned in 31 years, it would have been way worse.
Right. Now, are you finding
Yes.
that your vents are pumping out more heat and more cool now? It's definitely feels like it's wide open.
I don't know. I
instead of-
turned it way down.
Oh, because you don't need it.
I
to
turned them
work?
way down over the weekend preparing for the heat this week. But I can tell you this. There was a vent in the bathroom next to my room that as soon as the heat would come on, it would sound like this.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
hold on.
Okay. Yeah. Let's listen.
Sound
Oh,
like this.
yeah.
Here we
Mystery
are.
sound.
Okay.
I was like, what is in that vent?
Family of mice.
I have no idea. And so I was kind of bummed that I wasn't able to be there because I wanted to go searching through all that stuff to find out what was making that noise in my vent.
Oh, that's a great
I
question.
first thought it was maybe like a bobby pin. That's what it sounded like. And then I thought, well, maybe it was Kevin's toy.
Could be.
But his toys are all smooshy mooshy.
Todd, that's a great question. So let's say that I've lost something in the last year or two in my house, and I think maybe one of my kids threw it down the vent. Am I allowed to sift through all of the vent droppings?
Although we normally discourage people from that because it's gross.
It's nasty,
but,
right?
But the guys would probably let you if it was important.
Okay.
Is it really gross? The stuff that you pull
you
out
know-
of there? You just assume it's like dust and...
It is. I mean, it looks a
Oh,
lot like
spiders.
dust, but just think about it. It's everything from skin cells to pet hair to
Right.
whatever else is in the air
Ew.
for years and years.
Now,
in the
you
home.
guys
Bugs.
also took care of Connie's dryer vent.
That made my husband, his name is Dan, that made Dan the happiest man on earth because he's been meaning to do that for like 4 months.
Yeah, it's important to have that done. It's a major fire risk. So many people don't clean them often enough.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've done a number of jobs over the years on that side of our business
Right.
that have been a direct result of a dryer vent that needed cleaning that hadn't been cleaned.
Well, it was funny because one of my girlfriends heard me talking about, because I was like, everything you need to have done in your house, like your security system and your cable and this and that, and that's all costs money. And she texted me actually during the show that day and said, having your vents cleaned is totally worth it. And I found out the price you pay is based on square footage of your house, right? Is that true?
For
having your vents cleaned?
we actually count the vents.
Oh, the vents.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So we count the hot air supply vents into the
Okay.
rooms. And then that's how we come up with the price.
So you put the hose on every vent?
We put a large vacuum from the truck mount on the trunk line of the furnace.
Oh.
On the heat side and then on the cold side. At that point, we're going to go to the furthest point in the home and start cleaning those ducts back to the main truck line. So
yeah, Dan said it was
it
really
puts
cool.
the whole system under negative pressure. A big vacuum. If it's a really big house, we'll go through and seal off some registers so we get maximum suction power, basically.
So my air partner over here was
hi.
telling me that I could just stick my vacuum hose down there and just suck out the vent hair.
It turned out to be not as effective. I made a video and it was stuck on my shirt and it was not the best thing to do. So we will have that video, and then Connie's husband Dan took some videos of your guys there, just showing what like professionals do and how that works. So me just sticking a vacuum down there, that didn't do anything, right?
Arm's reach, right?
Yes.
Made it look better. At least if you looked in the vent, you
Right.
could feel better about it, but you're not going to breathe any easier.
No. So
Well, I love that you guys decided that you were going to do, and thank you again for cleaning my ducts.
You are
I
welcome.
appreciate it. And I hear that you're like the duct master.
I am.
Is that true? You're the operations manager at Modernistic, right?
Yep. Yep.
And the duct master.
The duct master. But you guys are going to do a standard duct cleaning. You get $100 off if you mention us when
That's
they call
right.
you.
That's right. So any callers that
Connie
call in
Curtis.
and mention your show today are going to get $100 off.
$100 off.
So someone texted in, and Angela's her name. She wants to know, will she know how much it will cost first, or do you say? So let's say you guys come to Angela's house. Do you say it's going to be about this, and she can say no, or
How does that
yes,
work?
It works exactly, except she'll know exactly what it is. So when we arrive, the first thing we do is do an inspection. So we're going to go through all the rooms, find all the ductwork, make sure that there's not any hidden anywhere, and then we count those up and price the job
And then you
based on it.
say
She'll
it's
know
gonna be this
exactly what
much.
it is before
Okay.
we start.
Okay.
There's no, it starts at this and then changes.
Okay.
Obviously, if she calls in on the phone and gives a relative number, then they're going to give her a price based on that, or they'll give them the minimum charge. And when the crew gets there, they'll size it up.
Okay. Yeah, that's good, because she was concerned. She's like, well, I don't want to get hit with like some huge bill, which
Right.
none of us do, right?
No one
wanna
wants
know-
that, and we don't want to hit you with one.
Right.
So
But the phone number for Modernistic is 800-627-5080. It's 800-627-5080. And if you mention Connie and Curtis, you're going to get $100 off.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so is the dryer cleaning included in that, or is that a separate thing too?
that is not that's separate. But while they're there, they can do that.
Okay. And what's the dirtiest you've ever seen?
Oh man, I've seen ducks almost closed off. You know,
my gosh.
in some areas
What
where
would
it's just
cause
so
that?
bad.
What would cause something to be that backed up?
Well, you're talking, ducks that have went for 50, 60
Okay.
plus years. A lot of, older homes may have never had it done. And air duct cleaning has really become top of mind recently.
Okay.
Absolutely.
As we become more health
Allergies.
conscious and are more concerned about air quality. So for a long time,
Okay, that never happened.
it's not happening.
You ever find a family of raccoons?
We've
bird's
found
nest?
animals,
Yeah, I bet.
and we've been called to ask to remove animals that have
Oh, somebody knew that they heard something in their that would
smelled
freak me out.
something.
I was going to ask
You know.
that. What about
Ew.
smell?
But, rodents and stuff.
Okay.
It's happened to older, farm homes and stuff like that, where we've been asked to come out and remove something.
That's funny
We
because
were happy to do so.
you just
Right,
made me
yeah.
realize something.
You
My
know.
mom lives on the other side of the state, and her dryer stopped working, and she called somebody, and the guy walked in and said, "You have a chipmunk in your dryer vent." And they go downstairs, chipmunk in the. He could tell the smell what
Yeah.
it was.
Oh yeah, you walk in and it
Well, there's a distinct smell of rodent You know,
We had that smell in our bathroom this morning.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 30 minutes ago.
Now, hopefully,
It's a different reason.
hopefully,
Oh, okay.
hopefully, when our listeners are calling, they don't have a smell in their house. They're getting out ahead of it.
yeah,
right?
get out ahead of it, get them
That's
clean.
what we're looking
You know,
for.
EPA recommends every 2 to 5 years. That depends on where you live, what your environment's like.
Yeah, and I was thinking
so-
that it was going to be like $2,000 to get my vents clean. It's not even anywhere near that.
So, like, what's an average cost for a house? Like $400 or $500?
The average house is $400.
Okay, so the average house is 400. So if our listeners call to get their ducts cleaned, is this just today or
If they mention the show,
Yeah,
for the next week?
8
yeah,
minutes.
next week, yeah,
For the next week.
yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Mention
Connie and
us.
Curtis.
It's 800-627-5080. 800-627-5080. Mention Connie and Curtis. You get $100 off.
We have that all spelled out on Facebook, too. Steve is going to
Todd.
take the videos that Dan shot
Yeah.
and me futzing around with a vacuum trying to get into my vents, which did not work. Definitely call the pros. But he'll put all
That's
that together in a
hilarious.
fun way. He should have that up by, I would think, middle of June.
So first off, thank you, Russ, for shutting me up by calling your friends over at Modernistic.
I'm glad I could help, Connie. Just wanted to get you taken care of.
He's like, you're so whiny. He texted me like 3 days later. Okay, whiny girl, do you want your ducts cleaned? I'm like, yes.
Yes, please.
Hello, and thank you, Todd, for having the guys come over and do it.
You know what?
You're welcome.
We appreciate
You
it.
know what I wish I had? Like if I had
a
one of those-
Lamborghini?
one of those awesome sports cars. I think my life would be so much better, right?
How's
And
that
I just-
working for you,
I just
Curtis?
cruise around. I'm just
No, he's
planting the
trying to
seeds.
get
I know.
you.
I know exactly what he was talking about. I just asked how was it working.
Just planting the seeds. I
He's
don't
not
know.
going to help you.
No. What if I had like an unlimited bar tab anytime I walked into anywhere in Grand Rapids? That would be something real nice too, Russ. If you want to start working on that.
He doesn't want to promote that because that means you're going to be sleeping in our office overnight,
right,
and I'll have to
right.
wake you up in the morning.
Fair enough.
So he's
Let's
not
not
going
do
to promote
that. Let's
that.
not do that.
All right, if you call Modernistic for the next week, let's say, and you mention Connie and Curtis, they'll give you $100 off. And Todd was telling us that the average cleaning is about $400. So that means you could clean if you have an average house.
Right.
$300 for you. 800-627-5080. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for shutting my whining up.
Yeah, you guys.
Russ.
Anytime I can help.
Thanks for
I
getting.
always
I
try,
appreciate it. I know. And my ducks appreciate it. Oh, and I cleaned the whole house this weekend and washed everything. So I'm going to see now how often I have to dust because my friend who I said called, she was like, oh my gosh, I used to have to dust like every 3 days and now I dust like twice a month.
Because you're not spitting all that garbage out.
Right.
You're not spitting the garbage.
So
out.
I'm going to report.
Think about
on
it. Every
that.
time you dust, some of it goes in your dust, your feather duster, and some of it gets put in the air where it grabs you in your ducts
so
and just gets
true.
moved somewhere else.
Ew.
Every time you guys say duct, I hear duck. Every single time. Does that happen at the office all the time?
Yeah.
Duck cleaning, and you're just vacuuming a duck. Now, that'd be
All right,
sexy, Mike.
Modernistic, 1-800-627-5080. Thank you, Todd.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Russ.
You're welcome.
Connie and Curtis.